Okay, in this video we'll be looking at simple interest graphs. So this graph you see might be showing the value of an investment that's earning simple interest. And these might be some of the questions that we could be asking you about this graph. So maybe the amount of money that was initially put in, an interest rate maybe, and the value after some number of years perhaps. But let's not worry about the questions yet. Let's see if we can understand what's happening on the graph and why a straight line graph like this actually models a simple interest situation. We know that for simple interest, there were two main parts to the story. First was that we'd chuck a sum of money into the bank to begin with, and then the money would grow by the same amount each year, and the interest rate was just a percentage comparing this yearly growth with the amount we chucked in at the beginning. And actually these two things are exactly the two ingredients to every straight line graph we've drawn. The money we invest at the beginning is some sort of starting point, right? Which in straight line language is just the so-called y-intercept, where the line cuts the y-axis. That's just because that's the money in our account right at the very beginning when no time has passed. So that means the initial amount we invested is exactly the y-intercept here on the graph. Then the second thing, the same constant growth year after year, is exactly what a gradient does, right? When you go across by 1, which on the graph just means each year that passes, we're asking how far up do you go? So how much money do you earn each year? So if we understand this relationship well enough, we should be in pretty good shape to answer the questions now. So first, how much money was invested? Well, we know that's just our y-intercept, which is $8,000. Then we want the interest rate. So that's to do with how fast the money is growing, which has everything to do with the gradient. So let's work out that gradient first from the graph. We can see that in 4 years, it goes from 8,000 up to 10,080, which is an increase of $2,080. So this tells us the growth in 4 years, but again the gradient asks for how much it grows every 1 year. So we need to think about chopping this $2,080 increase into 4 equal parts. That means the gradient is 2080 divided by 4. Some of you would know this pattern as rise over run. That is exactly what it is. And we get $520. So this tells us that the annual interest, the interest earned every single year, is $520. To turn this number into an interest rate, we need to compare it with how much we invested at the start. So the $8,000, we get 0.065, which as usual is written as a percentage, so 6.5%. Okay, so now the easiest way to get the interest after 9 years isn't really to worry about percentages or anything like that, but to just use the gradient, because that tells us exactly how much money we're earning each year. So we take the 8,000 we started with again, and every year we earn an extra 520. So because we're letting the money grow for 9 years, we need to add 9 lots of 520. And we get $12,680. Okay, now if we wanted just the interest, we would just take the 9 times 520 or whatever. Okay, but if we want the final value of the investment, it'd be this $12,680. So that's how we navigate simple interest graphs. Thanks for watching. See you around.